Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kellen here from Start Your Systems, and welcome to The Crew 2. This is a really fun, kind of an open world game that you get to do a lot of challenges in, and lo and behold, they have dirt bikes in it, so of course we're going to do a video in it. They have Kawasaki, Suzuki, and KTM 450s, the 16 KX 450 here, the 16 RMZ 450, and the 2015 KTM SXF 450. They also have a Red Bull edition of this bike. They also have like some Dakar versions of the KTM as well, but I haven't had to use those yet. So these are my three bikes that I purchased in the game and have been using to race the motocross races in. And I figured what I would do in this video is show you guys the motocross racing genre and do it on the hard difficulty, which I haven't done yet, and use all three of these bikes to do it. So we're gonna go in and go to activities and motocross. 75% done. I'm gonna start on this one because this one is like a city race, and I'll show that one off too. But
quick reminder, for each event there's a recommended level.
Yeah,
Make
well,
sure to
whatever.
check that out
We'll
before
do it on
taking
hard, and let's see what bike did it put me on. Is that the one I want for this one? I guess it doesn't matter. I'll start on the Suzuki. We'll start on the Suzuki, do KTM second. Excuse me, and then we'll do the Kawasaki third because it's my most upgraded bike. So you can upgrade these bikes by unlocking loot, is what it's called. By winning races, you get loot, and then you get upgrades for the bikes. And I wish this race was happening in the day, but unfortunately we're gonna have 3 night races. And the motocross tracks are kind of weird. All the jumps are made of dirt piles with wood stacked on top of them, so it's not super realistic in that sense. I mean, there's not really much realism to speak of in this game anyway. The gravity has kind of a very strange effect to it. Doesn't seem to work properly. Like, even in cars, you kind of just drop down from like really steep walls or heights with just like instant reaction time, just dropping to the ground. And the bikes seem to kind of do the same thing, although you can like kind of seat bounce some things, like kind of affect the gravity through a myriad of different things. But the jumps themselves are so weird because they're just like these peaky wooden ramp jumps, which feel, oddly enough, very unrealistic. That's not oddly enough, that's totally expected when you get this. And there are other views to play, and you can play in first person, which is actually almost a little bit better on a dirt bike because you can kind of see just where everything is a little bit easier than from the chase camera view, because you catch air, you get like launched forward or whatever, and your body and everything just moves around a ton. Man, these guys on hard difficulty are just that hard. You also have boost, which you may hear me using intermittently. Kind of lame that you have boost on a dirt bike, because obviously you probably would never put a nitrous tank on a dirt bike for fear of crashing and that thing just sitting there ready to explode. But obviously the cars in the game have it, the boats have it, and I haven't tried it with the planes, because the only missions I've done on planes so far are freestyle missions, which are basically aerobatics. But anyway, I'll get to that at some point. I'll show that off in the game, and I am absolutely sucking. I thought I was doing all right at the beginning, and then I got totally screwed off the side of the track by somebody, and I'm gonna end up finishing last in this race. So that's a great start to this. And if you don't finish in the top 3, it doesn't give you loot, so that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, your level's too low. Whatever. So you get fans as well. That's kind of how you level up in the game, is by getting fans. They have this whole thing about social media and whatever in the game. It's kind of weird. It's something I'm not used to. I didn't play the Crew 1, so I don't have a reference point per se. But let's jump over to the KTM and go back to that city race that I was talking about. That one I should be able to win because it's the first level. And so yeah, it says U23 Reco 10. And that's the level of the bike, so let's change difficulty. And it puts it on hard, and it recommends that I have a 60 level bike, which I don't. So this is actually probably not going to turn out as well as I thought. But although that first race, it was on like a motocross track, This one is the other side of the motocross genre, where it's a point-to-point race, and it really is more of like a street race than anything. You kind of go through the city, you hit staircases. I mean, you'll see what I mean, but here we go. Starts off up in the hills, kind of like, I don't know, feels a little bit dual sport-ish. And then you drop down this hill here, get through the gates a little bit, and then you just launch to flat, and there's really no physics in this game when it comes to falling off the bike. You can loop out, but you can't ever jump something far enough to fall off the bike, it seems. I've tried, and never has happened. These guys just all land to flat, no problem. Gosh, they're just taking off. Come on. Boost me. Push me forward. You can also kind of whip. Little whipper tails in this game. They don't work very well, as you can see, but you can kind of do it. I mean, it's there. Go. Lose all my momentum just trying to show a whip. You can also go up and hit jumps that are just off to the side of the track. You don't need to take the same line every time. Like I said, this is more like a street race version, so you kind of like cut through city streets. Oh my gosh, are we kidding? See, I was running up at the front. I try to show off, say like, hey, look, you can do whips, and next minute, nope. You can just blow through things. It's an interesting game, but I like it because of the arcadiness to it. Throws me back to some fun childhood games. Like I don't need games to be super realistic to have fun on them. I like games to have a challenge, sure, and this is definitely a challenge. As you can tell, it's not easy to beat these guys or anything. Another thing that's kind of weird about these races too is you can just kind of skip stuff. Like, you don't have to take these jumps, you can just go around them. The same thing on the motocross tracks too. You don't have to take the jumps, you can just go around them, and it's no harm, no foul. I'm gonna end up getting 6 because of it. Still don't think I get loot. I think you have to finish top 3 no matter what. Win the race, nope. And got some experience and some credits. Doesn't matter though, because I didn't unlock loot. So that sucks. Let me actually, how about for the last race, I'll just do it on normal mode so I can show you guys that you can unlock loot. Whoops. Yeah, there we go, Kawasaki. And I'll go to the last available activity because it's a little bit more challenging. I actually like this track, Mount Washington track. It's actually gonna be interesting to play it at night because I don't think it's very well lit. But it reminds me a little bit of a Mammoth. I know it's called Mount Washington, so I guess it kind of has a bit of a Washougal feel, maybe. But I mean, it's definitely unique. It's not anywhere near those tracks. It's just the way that it's in and out of the hills kind of reminds me of it. So now that I'm playing on normal, these guys should be pretty easy to beat. Boost up hills really helps. But then again, we have our wooden jumps. Just send it off them, land a flat, no big deal. You're good. Doesn't hurt anything. Well, landing on trees hurts a little bit, so I'd probably refrain from doing that. All the way up the hill here. And you can design your own bike, so you may have noticed, I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video when I was in the showroom, but all these bikes have the number 52 on them and have, like, you know, little, I don't know, logos and some stickers and things like that on them. Like I said, you can go in, there's an editor to design the bikes. It's really stupid because you only get side, like both sides of the bike, and then a top-down view. So when you put the front numbers on, they end up very strangely skewed, which is why it kind of only works on the KTM because it has a light that kind of halves the number plate, and then the numbers don't look as skewed. But if I put numbers on the Suzuki or the Kawasaki, they look ugly. So that's why I have just a blank front plate. The numbers on the side though look fine, so that's why I ran them. And then you can kind of customize your character. I have these yellow, I mean, it's motocross gear in this game, but it doesn't look very motocrossy, obviously. It's got a very interesting look to it. Boots look normal, I guess. And then the helmet is just some single creation design. I don't know. It's all weird. I mean, it's what you would expect out of a company that isn't focusing on making a motocross game. They're focusing on making a racing genre game, really. They're covering all the bases here. Bikes, cars, boats, planes, you name it, they got it in this game, it seems. So anyway, this has kind of been like my introduction to this game because I wanted to show it off and say like, hey, there's motocross, maybe you want to try it out for yourself. But I do plan on doing a lot of the car racing stuff in this game because the car racing stuff is fun. Probably the most realistic physics thing in this game is the, so here's the loot. But the plane stuff is probably the most realistic physics type thing in this game. So here, now that I have loot, I can show you. You go to the vehicles and you go to this little performance bar. And you have all these options, but obviously you want to run the highest available option. So it upgrades the machine, and it looks like it has several slots. So you can go all the way up to 15 on the slots. And they give you upgraded parts. Same thing, like I just won loot, so I'm sure there's unlockables in here. Or there was. It had showed it, maybe it's not here. Yeah, see, so new suspension components. And then I think the Suzuki also had an upgrade. Let's see. This, that. I already have that. Nope, I guess it didn't. But yeah, it's a cool open world map. So this is going out to show off the map. It's the United States. So here we are. We're up by kind of New York City. There's Washington, D.C., Nashville, New Orleans, and Miami is your home base. There's Dallas, Amarillo, Santa Fe, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, and then over here is Salt Lake City and Vegas, and then down here is LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Sacramento. They have all the cities, and it's pretty vast. Like to get to from like say Miami over here to Seattle probably takes, in the fastest car in this game, 30 minutes. So it's a huge world, and at one point I'm going to do a video of me driving across it, but obviously I'd like a faster vehicle. And you have your home base too, which is kind of cool. I'm going to show off how you can edit the bikes just real fast, but you have this home base that stores all your vehicles that I have and overalls and stuff like that. There's my plane. And you have an elevator, and you have the garage, the harbor. I haven't unlocked the hangar yet because I only have one plane, so it just stores in the top level. Down here you have more vehicles that I have. Here's the bikes, the cars over here that I already have owned as well. And yeah, so let me actually show you editing the bike real quick. Let's go to the Kawasaki. So we will customize, and you can mess with the color of it. So if I wanted like a black Cowie, I can change it to that. And it has these different options. So go with matte coloring or chrome or iridescent. So it gives you quite a few options to work with, and then the livery, you can choose between ones that people have created, but they're all kind of funky looking and then they cost money, or you could design your own. So I've designed my own here, and we'll go into here, and it gives you, like, I can make a new layer, like add, I don't know, whatever, checkered flag right there, paste it, bam. I don't want it there, so I'm going to delete it. But here's what I was talking about. If I go to the top side, I have all the stickers there. If I take, let's just say a 5 black, turn it to 270 degrees, so it's at an angle, the right proper angle. And then let's just put it off to the side here. And then, oh, damn it. Go around the bike. There we go. So see on the front plate, it's super skewed. It looks dumb, and I can't, like if I were to go into here and try to move it, it still does the like really skewed thing. If you have just like the 5 right here on the front, I guess it looks kind of okay. But as soon as you go off the side of it a little bit, it makes some really weird things. And you can put it anywhere. And I could put it right here on the front fender if I want to. And yeah, it's kind of cool how you can design it, but the front plate is a no-no. Can't really do much of anything good on the front plate, so that's why I left it blank. And this is the Crew 2 Motocross. Check it out if you want, or you could continue to watch my videos where I ride the dirt bikes, pilot planes and boats, and drive cars and do fun stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little prelude video, I guess it were, on the channel. And we'll see you guys in our future videos in the crew too. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys then. So long for now.